Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever it is in the world you're watching from, whatever time of day it is. Welcome to today's vlog. Alright everybody, thank you for watching today's vlog. I'm going to be a little bit more on a serious note tonight. My last video, first off, I want to thank everybody for the warm wishes, warm welcoming for my daughter, Amelia May. She was born yesterday. A very beautiful little girl. She's my very first daughter. Third child, first daughter. You know, I thought I had a handle on things when it comes to kids, but all my experience were with boys, because I have two little boys. I have two boys myself, an 8-year-old with autism and a little 21-month-old little boy. Both of them mean the world to me. And I thought I couldn't love kids any more than I already do. But to tell you the truth, my daughter has me wrapped around her finger already. She's not even 2 days old yet. And I just wanted to thank everybody in the vlogging crew, all of my subscribers, for your kind words. And, you know, I just love you guys. So thank you very much for that. Today's vlog, I'm not really doing anything special, or it is special, but I mean, I'm not going out to go visit a certain place that is interesting. I'm not going out to go visit any rides or anything like that. But tonight I just wanted to share more of a personal, serious experience that I've had in my life. And yes, it is concerning my oldest son, my oldest child, Logan, who has autism. I wanted to share his story with everybody and our experiences with him so far. He was born in Washington State, not too far from Seattle, about 45 minutes south of Seattle. That's where I grew up. That's where I spent my teenage years. I was about 11 years old when my family first moved there. I lived there until I was about 25, 26 years old or so. And that's where I consider home. That's what I consider home, Federal Way, Washington. I met my wife there. I was a senior in high school and she was a sophomore in high school. She thought that I would have no chance there because I was the biggest jerk in the world. And if you ask her, I still am. But at the time, I thought I had no chance with her, so I never really given it a second thought. So that's just kind of how we met. And I graduated high school in 2002, and I left for an LDS church mission in 2003. I went out to Frankfurt, Germany, and I was there for 2 years on a mission, and I spent an additional 6 years over there because my dad was in the military. So I spent 8 years of my life living over near Frankfurt, Germany. But when I got home at the very beginning of summer 2005, my wife was she was friends with my little sister. You know, her and my little sister are about the same age. You know, just to give or take a couple months. And, you know, just didn't think things would happen, you know. Let's see, the following February, which is February 2006, about a day or two before, you know, about a month before her birthday that year, we started talking more on Facebook. We both, you know, that's about when her and I first started doing our Facebook stuff. You know, and we started to get to know each other and realize that we might be for each other. You know, at the time it was just more of like a might be. So we decided, you know, I asked her, I said, hey, do you just want to be like a boyfriend girlfriend type thing? You know, do you always do something like that? She said, yeah, sure, let's try it out. And it was long distance because she was in Washington State and I was in Idaho. She was in Western Washington and I was in Eastern Idaho. I was within 45 minutes of the Wyoming border at the time, going to college. So then that April, she flew out to Idaho when the semester ended, and then we did like a little road trip back home to Western Washington. You know, then things started getting a little more serious, and you know, I proposed to her September 2006. We got married January 2007. So a little over 10 years. Throughout that time when we were dating and throughout our engagement, I had gotten to know her and her family better. And I learned that her younger brother actually has autism, and he has a severe low functioning case. He's got a severe case of it. It's pretty low functioning. Very aggressive, but he's easy to get along with. You just got to know who he is, know what he will do, and stuff like that. He's a good kid, But that being said, I've learned that autism is actually more of a genetic thing. You know what I mean? So when we first got married, we were a little worried about having kids. So yeah, we weren't sure if we wanted to have kids, but later on that year we decided, it might not be a bad, let's have a kid, let's try it. Let's at least have a couple kids, At the time we both decided each wanted to have 5 kids, because we both come from families where we are one of 5 kids. So just keep it as a family thing. Just let's have 5 kids. So we tried to get pregnant, but it took us a while. We found out November 2007 that we were pregnant. We were excited. We were happy. We had decided we wanted to be a family. We wanted to have a kid because we loved kids. So we wanted to have a kid. And we decided to announce it to her family on Thanksgiving that year, Thanksgiving Day of 2007. My wife is one of the best bakers you'll ever meet and see, and also one of the best cooks. But that year she baked a cake. It was a chocolate cake it was a vanilla cake with some chocolate, or it was yellow cake with chocolate frosting on it. And then yellow writing, she had wrote on there in cursive that Caitlin is pregnant. Happy Thanksgiving. And I showed it to her mom. We showed it to her parents. Like, oh, that looks like a delicious cake. Her mom was like, oh, it looks so good. And she read it as like, Caitlin is pregnant. Happy Thanksgiving. And she's like, yeah. It took her a second. She's like, wait, what? It was just kind of like that. She's like, took a second, like, yes, it's gonna be a good Thanksgiving. It looks like a delicious cake. Wait a second. And she had to reread it again. She got all excited and everything. And we found out it was going to be a little boy. And that's when Logan came. He was born August. I think he was born a week late, but he was born August 13th of 2008. So we're coming up on his 9th birthday this year. And just kind of from the start, my wife felt that from the start there was something wrong, something a little different. He wasn't exactly like other babies, it seemed like, but didn't really give much. Neither of us really gave much thought into it. But she had brought it up, like, what if he has autism? She had brought it up, but I told her, I don't know. I'm still learning what it's all about, because back then, I never even heard of autism before until I actually started dating my wife and got to know her brother. So I didn't know what signs to look for or anything like that. So yeah, just a little hard. We're both like, oh no, he can't have autism. He's just so good. But as time started progressing, when he got to be about 2 years old, a lot of the words he was saying, he just stopped saying them. And it was just, my wife and I, we were both heartbroken over that, because that's the kind of when we, realized and started telling ourselves we think he has autism. So we spoke with his pediatrician, and she noticed some signs. She started telling us how she started noticing some signs too, but she hinted towards it, but didn't know that we were catching the picture. Getting the idea. I'll tell you what, we were devastated. We were heartbroken, but we loved him nonetheless. We treated him like he was any other child. but I had to be careful because we didn't know what he was thinking. We didn't know what he was going to do, so we had to be careful. So we started. She recommended that we take him to this program called Kids on the Move, which is a program for kids with disabilities who are delayed in any way, shape, or form. They could go to this playground and just kind of learn, speak with therapists, or we could speak with a therapist about it. And that he could go there until he was about 3. He went there for a little over a year, I want to say. And it's actually not too far from that. And at the time, we didn't really think about or realize how much it was really helping him out. He started going to special education preschool at about age 3, so a little early on. They did a lot of work with him. He struggled with transitioning to other activities, which he still does sometimes. He does have a hard time with that still. But it was just hard. Ever since he was little, we would actually read to him. Every single night we'd read a story. He loved reading stories. He loved it when we read him books and stuff like that, little kids' books. Stuff like based on Pixar stuff, like Cars or Toy Story. Stuff like that. And even though we were still heartbroken about it, we loved him, and all that reading we didn't know would actually eventually pay off. He wasn't really saying words; it was more like "hoo, hoo," like cooing and stuff like that, making weird noises like that. Wasn't really looking at us like directly in the eye. We know we all know that's a sign of autism right there. We had a very hard time with it. And then when he was about 5 years old, so just a couple of years ago, we just moved into this apartment actually, and we laid him down to bed. We read him his stories. We said our nighttime prayers, and then we noticed that for at least a week or two, we would notice that we would read his story, turn off his lights, turn on a night light for him, but he had a little lamp on his nightstand that we did not turn on, and we would every once in a while when we would be out here watching TV or doing homework or whatever, we would look into his room, and when you look underneath the door, you can tell if a light is on or not. We noticed a few times that like a light would be on, but it would not be like the main light up here. But it was more like his light on his nightstand that he had. So every once in a while, we would go peek through the door, and just we'd be quiet just so we would not disturb him. Because what if he was asleep? So we would we would peek at him, see how he's doing. And every time we opened it up a crack, we saw that he was there with the book open. And it looked like he was reading along with the words. We suspected that that he was doing that at least. And every night we noticed something a little bit different. Like he would either, we would observe him. We would sit there and just Logan, we tell Logan go ahead, just keep doing what you're doing, just keep it up. At this point we knew he understood what we were telling him to do, what we wanted from him, and he knew how to do yes or no, but he wouldn't say the words. He would just nod his head, yes or no. And we would just sit there next to him and just observe him, just reading him, looking at looking at the book, and then for a couple of weeks we noticed that it looked like his eyes were kind of following the words, read, go back, read, every time a new line will start up and stuff like that. And then he got to the point to where he would actually follow the words with his fingers too. And right about when he started doing that, my wife and I were looking at each other. And after we got out, one night after we got out of his room, we sat there. We talked about it, what if he can understand us a lot better than we think he does? And what if he can actually read? What if he can actually read and write? We kind of looked at each other like, no, it can't be. How that can't be. We weren't 100% sure that he could do that. We didn't even think he really could read or write, yet. So the following weekend, it was a Saturday. My wife and I, we both have weekends off. At the time, we both had weekends off from work, and we usually do our family. We usually do our family lunch on Saturdays, where we would go out to eat lunch or eat breakfast somewhere. And that particular day, we went to a place called Costa Vida, and it's kind of like a Baja California Mexican style restaurant, where you can order a burrito or stuff like that, and just they'll heat it up there for you, cook it for you there, and you can just sit there and eat. And we were just sitting there. We were taking our time with eating. And we were sitting there. He finished his food before my wife and I would finish. We noticed that he was just kind of looking around, just kind of like looking at the words on the walls, at least. So we thought he was kind of fixating on that, and so my wife and I brought up the conversation again. We were like, what if he really is reading this stuff around us? What if he really knows how to do that? Let's try it out. So that's when my wife and I were like, so how do we test that? Like, what should we do? I mean, it was a Saturday. Most therapists or doctors would have a Saturday off. So we were like, what? Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. So what I did is I brought out my phone. I pulled out my phone and I turned it to the screen that would actually text or send a text to my wife. I was like, Logan. I said to Logan. He kind of looked up a little bit towards me, like acknowledging that he heard me, but he would not like look at me in the eyes. So I was like, Logan, what do you want to? We're done with lunch now. What do you want to go do next? We sat there. We just sat there, just kind of like this, just like watching it and observing him. And I think it was about 2 or 3 minutes later, we saw him just like start tapping on the screen. I was like, what's going on? Just trying to observe. And then he ended up finding the button that would send a text to my wife. And I looked at it, and he said ice cream. He spelled it out perfectly. Except ice cream is 2 words, but he combined them into 1 word. Like, we looked at him, we looked at each other like, huh. And I was like, Logan, do you want ice cream? And he looked at me, he's like, I was like, okay, what flavor ice cream do you want? And again, I put my phone next to him, and he had to think. You could tell he was thinking really hard, because he was like, his head was in his hand like this on the table, trying to think. And then, a couple minutes passed by again, and he spelled chocolate. He spelled out chocolate to us, and we're like, oh, Logan, you want some chocolate ice cream? He's like, with a big old smile. I remember he had a big old smile on his face. He's like, so I go, okay. So there's an ice cream parlor just a couple blocks away from where we're at. So we went there and we got him some chocolate ice cream. And my wife and I suspect that right then and there, something switched in his brain that told him, hey, this is a way I can communicate to my parents. Maybe this will help me get what I want. So the rest of the day, we would keep asking him questions. Look, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? What is that? What do you see over there? And he would type it out, and every single question we asked him, he got correct. And he spelled everything correctly and everything. And tell you what, it felt like your child had just learned how to talk. You know how when their kids start talking, you get all excited, yeah! Well, that's how we felt. Um, Again, he was about 4 or 5 years old. We didn't ever think he would be able to do that to us or with us. And sorry, every time I hear that, I think of that story, I just kind of tear up a little bit. I'm not really tear, but I also, you know what I mean. You know that feeling you get when you of sheer joy. You know, if you're a parent, especially with parents with kids who have autism, it's just an ecstatic feeling whenever you see your child succeed like that. Um, so that later that year, I started out my semester at Utah Valley University, and I was able to pay off. I owed like $600 or $700 for the semester, I think. And I was able to pay it off quickly, so that way the next semester, they actually gave me a free iPad Mini, or something like that. It was either because I was able to pay off the tuition for the rest of the semester, or I was able to pay off a laptop that I had started financing through the school. Well, I don't know if it was just financing, because I originally decided to rent the computer, but they said, for the same price, I can actually own. If I pay the same price again, I can actually own the computer. I was like, okay. Well, I ended up paying the same price with my student aid, and they ended up giving me like a little iPad Mini. It was either a tuition payment or as a computer payment. I can't remember which one it was. But either way, I got that iPad Mini. But the thing is, I didn't really need it. I wanted to use it for school stuff, but I already had a computer I was using. I have a first generation iPad that I would use every once in a while to type up my notes. So my wife talked me into giving the iPad to Logan, because there was a program on there you can buy for like $20. It's called Inner Voice, and what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to allow the person to type out a word or a sentence, and it'll say it'll say what is typed out loud for them. So we got that all set up for Logan, and he started going to a new school, which is the school he's going to now. He's been going there for the last 2 or 3 years now, and they've been using his iPad, to help communicate with everybody. And his speech pathologist at school actually goes to our church, so she helps out a lot with Logan, and they had him on computers and everything to help him type things out, even little mini reports and stuff like that. And that would go on for a few. That would actually go on for a few years. So, like I was saying earlier, all that reading to him when he was a kid really paid off, because I really taught him how to spell words correctly. And he's still working on sentence structure, but for the most part, we can understand what he's saying. And so we were happy that he was technically talking to us, even though it was through an iPad. But that started changing again at the beginning of the school year, because we noticed that he really wasn't wanting to use his iPad very much. So we thought he was just getting frustrated with having to type everything out. So we're like, what's going on? What's going on with him at school? So we're trying to talk to his teachers and his therapist about it. We're like, I don't know what's going on, but sometimes he just really doesn't want to use his iPad. I was like, well, that's weird, because at home he uses it a lot, whether it be for looking at pictures or for typing or whatever, And then in November, my wife noticed that he started saying like random words from school. We're like, what the heck? Is he really saying what I think he's saying? We're like, Logan, did you just say this, or did you just say that? He's like, or no. I was like, okay, do you want to translate it for us? We would ask him if there was something we couldn't understand. We asked him if he said that. He would say no. We would ask him if he could translate that onto his iPad. So he would get his iPad, he would type it out. We're like, oh, okay, sometimes we were right, sometimes we were wrong. Like, oh, so that's what you're trying to say. But, throughout the next couple months, we started noticing that his vocabulary started progressing. So we're like, something weird is going on here. What is going on? because he just randomly just started to come home from school one day. He was just talking. Not complete sentences. Some of it was a little bit gibberish. It was hard to understand. So we emailed his teachers and his speech pathologists and stuff like that. And we asked them, what did you guys do to get Logan to start talking? They're like, us? We thought it was you guys who were teaching him at home to talk. We're like, no. We thought it was you guys who started doing that. Like, oh my gosh, like, this is a miracle. What is going on? And from that, ever since like about November time, he's been talking to us with his words, his vocabulary has been getting a lot clearer. He quotes a lot of movies. Sometimes there's some things that we still have trouble understanding with him, and he still uses his iPad every once in a while to translate. But for I'd say about 95% of the time, he doesn't want to use it at all because he wants to actually say the words. And if we're like, Logan, say this, he's like, and he can actually almost say it perfectly. And if he doesn't know the word, he's like, huh. He makes some weird noise. Like, wow, this is amazing. So I guess the school is trying to figure out what in his brain clicks to make him just start talking randomly like that. It might be from years and years of using his iPad, because every once in a while, if he saw a word on a billboard he did not understand, he would get his iPad out and he would type it out and it would say it for him. So it's just amazing, you know, stuff like that. Kids can be amazing. And I guess the very last thing I want to say in this video goes out to all of you parents who have children with autism. I guess what I have to say is don't give up hope. My son is a perfect example of that. I do not want you to lose hope in your children. They're a lot smarter than we think they are. Very intelligent people. We were at the point where we never thought that we would ever hear Logan's voice ever. Ever. But we were happy that he had that iPad to communicate with us. So my best piece of advice to give out to people who have relatives with autism and suffer through that is to never ever give up hope on them. Even if they're a child of a friend's, don't ever give up. Just be friends. Be there. Be able to be supportive of them. Because in the long run, it's hard. It's hard to see people go through it and struggle like that. Yes, I know. And it's emotionally draining on the parents as well. But never give up hope. The day he started talking to us and the day he started typing to us, some of the best days of my life. And every time I think about that, I just want to cry and tear up and just express my joy and thankfulness that I even have Logan in my life. I cherish him every single day. I tell him I love him every single day. He says, I love you too, Dad. And just to hear him say that, actually physically say that, is the best thing in the world to me. So all you people out there with relatives or friends or may know someone who has autism, don't give up hope. Don't ever give up hope. I'm not exactly sure what clicked in his brain to make him do that, but your time will come. Don't give up hope. Keep showing your friends, your family members love and support, because even they need it. They need to know that you're there to help love them and support them. Anyways, thank you for watching the video today. I know it went long, and I know it's a long story, but I feel like Logan's story had to get out there. So if you people out there, the viewers, can actually help share Logan's story by sharing this video, that would be great. The goal I have for this video is to help others never lose hope. So please, 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 please share this video to all your friends and your family. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.